Jordan's effect on my psyche. Well, let's put it like this. I asked myself wholeheartedly, would I be wholeheartedly the man that I am today? I mean, wholeheartedly, like every component about myself. Of course, I'll still be the same man for the most part, but I'm saying every single component, wholeheartedly, like the whole pie of who I am. Would I have been the same without watching Jordan and the Bulls win those championship all those years? Hell no. Hell no. So I got to watch Jordan do his thing from basically from the age of 8 is when I could actually conceptualize how much it felt bad when the Bulls lost to when they won. That's when I could actually conceptualize that, is at 8 years old. So I got to watch Jordan from 8 years old all the way up until the age of 23. Basically, a young man. From a little boy to a young man, I got to watch Michael Jordan. From my city, I could have been born in any city in America, but I was born in the city where I got to watch Michael Jordan represent the city I was born in. The psychological effect that has on a young black man's mind. And forget about whether these basketball players want to be role models, whether they do or they don't. The bottom line, if you're in the public eye, you are a role model, either for the good people. When you say role model, people automatically assume that you're a good role model. But you could be a good or a bad role model. Role model, the word role model is subjective. When you're in the public eye, you are automatically a role model, either for good or bad. You are affecting things in the ethers, whether you want to or not. That's why I have to obviously practice manifestation and all those things. I try to keep it real with you guys, but I still, I do have filters. Even though sometimes it don't seem like it, but and I'm from Chicago. I'm born native from Chicago, and Chicago is a very it's a very complex place to be born. I will say that a lot of products that come out of Chicago are pretty interesting people. I mean, look at somebody like Derrick Rose, who's born on the South Side. Most of the people that come out of Chicago are pretty interesting characters. Talking about the so-called black, pretty interesting characters. You look at everybody that came out of Chicago, they were unique in some way. But just getting back to Jordan, the effect that this guy, I mean, if I met Jordan, all I could say to this man is thank you. Thank you. I mean, watching Jordan go through the struggles, again, 8 years old, and see, he won the first championship. So I was 8, watching the Bulls trying to get through the hump of the Detroit Pistons. And I watched that from 8 years old, went to about 3 years of watching them losing the playoffs and feeling that pain as a little boy, and then watching them win the championship before the age of 13, before being a teenager, and going into the adolescent years of the Bulls being dominant on top. How do you think that make a young black boy feel? Even if you're not a basketball fan. You think that'll have some kind of effect when you would see somebody like Jordan in your city on billboards, commercials, everybody gathering around to watch him, and you're watching that as a low? I mean, the effect that has on my psychology, guys. Let me tell you something. That has something to do. Why I went from a chubby kid to being the only man in my high school class that could dunk a basketball. Because the other ones was, they was watching Jordan too, but I don't know, maybe they wasn't watching him. I got good genes though. I got good genes, you know what I mean? Why was Jordan the best basketball player? Some things is just genetic, man. Just genetic. That's why I don't believe in inequality. Because some things is just genetic, man. There'll never be another Michael Jordan. That's what makes the study of DNA so important because it's so complex. I don't think any leaf on any tree is the same dimension. A leaf on a tree, none of them the same. So the notion of quality, like I said, only leads to cognitive dissonance. But just to end this, guys, I don't want to keep on with my rambling. All I can say to Jordan is thanks. It meant the world to me to watch the Bulls win those championships, guys. The effect that it had on my self-esteem. I felt like I was the man. Even though I wasn't out there dribbling the basketball, I wasn't out there signing contracts and, getting knocked on my ass by the Detroit Pistons. And it wasn't me, but it's like it was me at the same time. And I could take something like that and remember how much that affected me, and possibly some people looking at me in that same light to affect their lives. I remember Common Sense, it was his one verse in his one song. He said, affected lives is what a merit is. Think about it. Affected lives is what the merit is. One thing we all have in common is that we're all renting this space on this planet at this time. That's one thing. That's one thing we do share in common as far as equality. We're all here just a few years, and we're trying to make the best of it. For most of us, for the most part, trying to make the best of it. But I could take the situation of how much influence somebody like Jordan had on me as a young so-called black boy growing up on the west side of Chicago, and how other people can possibly look at me if I'm seen in any kind of light. And I can always remember to just remember, affected lives is what a merit is, like Common Sense said in that song. You have a choice. We all got choices to be good or bad, But I just wanted to say that, man. I mean, just because you say, man, what if I met Jordan? Like, what would I say? Because you don't want to come off as no fanatic. And all I could say is, thanks. That's all I could say. Thanks. Because he is part of the reason why I am who I am today.